The Ninth Amendment. When the Bill of Rights was coming about, it was argued by James Madison that listing specific rights allows the government to say the people do have not any other rights, thus the addition of the Ninth Amendment, which states the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage other retained by the people. This just means that people have rights beyond the ones listed in the Constitution, such as choosing your own college or choosing your own career. A problem with this was that it remained unclear which rights the people had and how to enforce them. Ultimately, the court ruled that a person has free rights until it harms another individual's rights. Without the Ninth Amendment, people would be restrained to the rights listed in the Constitution. The government would control everything outside of those. Yes, there would still be freedom of speech, religion, and the other first 8 amendments, but it would take away the freedom of choice and individuality. The Ninth Amendment is very important to ensure that we keep freedom in this country.
The Fifth Amendment. I quote, "The Fifth Amendment by saying no person shall be held to answer or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury except in areas arising in the land or naval forces, nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice in jeopardy of life or limb. They shall be complained in any criminal be a witness against himself." For example, if someone were to steal a car, they cannot go to court without due of process. So they would have to have evidence of them going to court. And people can't be put in jail without knowing what they're being put in jail for. That was horrible.
The 21st Amendment. In 1920, the noble experiment, more regularly known as the Prohibition, began.
The beginning of the Prohibition was to stop crime, increase family values, and restore religious values in the community, but instead it created the opposite effect.
Organized crime increased, the economy went down due to loss of jobs in the alcohol industry, and also, not to mention, the government lost tax revenue from alcohol sales.
After all these effects, the support for the repeal of the 18th Amendment was put in place.
In 1933, Franklin D. Roosevelt ran for president, and he pledged to end the Prohibition.
In February 1933, Congress repealed the amendment, which we now know as the 21st Amendment. This was the only amendment ever to repeal another amendment.
Although the Prohibition was repealed, there were still a few states remained that did not repeal until 1966. These states were Kansas, Georgia, and Mississippi.